Alright, hello everyone, Simon here, and let us play Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. So this is gonna be a blind playthrough. I've been through Shadowrun Returns and then Shadowrun Dragonfall, and this is gonna be the third game in the trilogy. Let's go, let's get straight into it. Oh, there's two parts to this? There's the Shadowrun Hong Kong, the main story, and then this is like the bonus, the extended content. Is that one. It says it takes the completed save file, requires import of a final save game from the main campaign. So after we finish this, we save the game and then we go on to the bonus extension. Let's go! We're gonna normal difficulty. So in Shadowrun Returns, I played a rigger. In Dragonfall, I played a decker. I want to try a mage, right? In most games, I don't really do mage because I don't really want to like manage magic. But it seems like mages are fine. Mages are fine in the Shadowrun games. So let's go ahead and make a dude. I have like tested this out before, so I've seen the first few minutes of this game. But otherwise, this is a blind playthrough. I have found the right portrait for me. Let me just get to it. Does that or does that not look like me? This is very Hong Kong, by the way. This guy, he looks exactly like a dude from Hong Kong. I mean, I'm a dude from Hong Kong, and I look exactly like that. Isn't that great? So we're gonna be a mage. I think I want like dodge there, 3 quickness, and then I think I'm just gonna max my spell casting. Like I'm only gonna do spell casting. And then like after I max this out, if we still have more points, I might come back and go to dodge. So it's just dodging bullets, and then as much spell casting as we can get. That's the plan. Alright, that's it. I'm just a mage. Confirm, and I want to be an academic. I think academic etiquette. Although, having played through the first 5 minutes or so just to test the game, weird. Our character is not an academic at all. Our character is apparently a kid who grew up in the slums, and then who spent a lot of time in prison. So he's not really an academic, but I'm an academic. Alright. We're gonna go Simon. This is my real name. I'm not gonna put my real name in here. Alright, that's me. C. I don't have a last name.
You have one new message.
Hi. It's Raymond. I hope I have the right number. Look, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I need your help. Remember the day I took you and Duncan off the streets? I told you that the past is just a story, that if you can just accept that, your past loses all power over you. Yeah. I was wrong. I'm on my way to Hong Kong now, to finish something I should have faced a long time ago. And I need you with me. I know we're not blood, and we didn't leave things in a good place, but you and Duncan are the only real family I have. Please. If our past means anything to you, meet me in Hong Kong right away. I'll explain more when you get here. I'm begging you. I'm almost out of time.
That doesn't look like Hong Kong. But it's 2056, so who knows, right? That's not the Hong Kong skyline. Hong Kong, if you just go to Google, you can find the like pictures of the Hong Kong skyline. It's basically like mountains and then the ocean, and then there's like a narrow strip of city between. So it's like it's kind of a, it's pretty cramped. Hard landing, Raymond Black. The old man gave you a home once, took you and Duncan off the gang-ridden streets of the Barrens, shouted, educated, slapped sense into you both until you almost resembled productive members of society. And then you took off, left it all behind, landed behind bars for a time, tried to start a new life after that. It's been 8 years since you've heard Raymond's voice, until out of the blue you got his cryptic message, a plea for help. Meet me in Hong Kong right away. And wired to your account enough new yen to pay for the flight and then some. The Barrens. So the Barrens is Seattle, right? The descent is rough. A squall comes out of nowhere, sending a solid sheet of rain punching into the suborbital transport. With a ragged shudder, the plane finally skids to a halt at the edge of Chetlapcock tarmac. An hour and an interminable number of emotionless security checkpoints later, you hail a water taxi to Victoria Harbour. Hong Kong looms ahead, pulsing with energy. That's not how Hong Kong works. There are roads. You don't have to take a water taxi from the airport to the city. That's not. You can take a water taxi, but usually you just go on the roads. I don't know why would you take a water taxi from the airport to the city. Anyway. I mean, I get it. Like, Hong Kong, August 2056 monsoon season, right? So, like, in the imaginations of people, Hong Kong, like, maybe like 20, 30 odd years ago, it's like that. There are water taxis. The place is kind of a mess. And it's kind of chaotic and crowded. So that's like the flavor of Hong Kong, but that's sort of like a myth now. I mean, there's roads, there's like subway trains, there's trains and roads everywhere. You don't need to take a water taxi anywhere. But that's the flavor. That's like the nostalgic flavor of old Hong Kong. Anyway, you step from the churning of the water taxi to the ponderous rocking of the docks, your stomach lurching at the transition. As soon as you're clear, the captain nods once and steers the small craft back into the harbour. The man never said a word, just handed you a worn brown duffel bag when you stepped on board filled with gear. Some stiff new body armour and a note, better safe than sorry, D. Yeah, like the harbour and things. Man, I remember back when I was a kid, when I was younger. Yeah, no, you would take boats. You would take boats from place to place. But that's a long time ago. Seriously. You can still do it, but why would you? Above, smoke-thick clouds hang low in the sky, reflecting the lights of the city in a nauseating swirl. The wind changes direction more than once, creating a heavy stew of aromas, diesel, sea salt, street food, and filth. That's exactly what Hong Kong smells like, by the way. Diesel, sea salt, street food, and filth is exactly what Hong Kong smells like. It's all you can do to keep your in-flight meal where it belongs. That's amazing. That's exactly what Hong Kong smells like. Two figures stand waiting in the dim light of the pier. The first is an orc, lean, with in-your-face muscles and a jaw made to break fists. The second is an elf, one hand resting casually against her hip. Raymond Black is nowhere to be seen. Duncan, why don't you look like shit? Duncan Wu, the closest thing you have to a brother. You haven't seen the man in 8 years, still as charming as ever. He grins. Green's not really your color, Simon. Doesn't go with that nice new armor I got you. As you open your mouth to respond, something shifts alarmingly in your stomach. A liquid bubbling sensation. Body 3, tough it out. I think if I do this, I'll actually puke. Let me go body 3, tough it out. Don't know what you're talking about. Must be the harbor lights messing with you. Let's not puke over him. Must be. Guess you still got some of your old fortitude at least. He laughs. Considering how much synthoho we used to put down, I'd be surprised you couldn't handle a little chop. Anyway, we gotta go find Raymond. Find Raymond, I thought he'd be here. Never showed up. He's still got that same baritone rasp, had it since he was 12. Wu developed early. Did you try him on comm? No clue where he might be. When was the last time you saw him? No sense standing around then. Where's his meeting place? No clue where he might be. No. Wu rubs his head. But I just checked in with the local PD and morgue. If he's dead, his body hasn't turned up yet. That's a good sign, I guess. You worried? You should have waited there and called me. What do you want to do now? Seems kind of tense. You're eating enough fiber. You worried? Yeah, I'm worried. Wu rubs his head. He's an old man and he's out there alone somewhere. Or he's a smart guy, he can take care of himself. I mean... 65 isn't that old, Duncan. I mean, it's kind of old. I get it. Okay, now I'm worried. You know what? Let's be worried together. I think you should be. Alright, I am. The orc bows his head. His voice sounds far away. He's not the same, Simon. Raymond hasn't been himself in a long time. How so? He's been restless, staying in his study inside his own head a lot, and he barely sleeps anymore. I've been worried about him, but I haven't figured out what to do about it. He looks up at you and shrugs, and I didn't have a brother to turn to. I wasn't too sure you were even alive still, until Raymond managed to track down your number. The woman standing beside him breaks in. We should get going, Duncan. Head back to the meeting point in case your dad shows up. Copy that, Sarge. They're wearing Lone Star body armor. Looks like Duncan Wu's gone private police. So Lone Star is... private police? Who hires them? Operations, I guess. Sarge? You his girlfriend or something? You his partner? you his partner? Unfortunately, yes, although partner's not the right word for it exactly. I like superior officer better. She grins. I let him carry my coffee for me, write my parking tickets, that kind of thing. Oh, isn't that cool? Nice relationship. The woman taps her chest with an armored finger, Carter. I figured I could use some backup, didn't know what raids got himself into. And I wasn't sure you were gonna show up. It's a tossed-off remark, but there's an undercurrent of resentment in it. Wasn't I in prison? Anyway, well, surprise, here I am. Yeah, well, I wasn't so sure, you know? He shakes his head. Hey look, I'm glad you're here, Simon, seriously. But I'm gonna need some time to get used to having you around again. Been a while since I heard from you know what I mean? I mean, no I don't. I just started this game, so I have no idea what's going on. Memories of sleepless nights in lockup flash by, wondering if you ever seen Duncan or Raymond again. Wondering if you even wanted to. Yeah, so my character's been in prison, apparently. The game doesn't really say exactly what you've been doing, but I've chosen academic as my etiquette. So I've been in university, apparently. And then stepping out into the daylight, suddenly free, the fallout of some obscure corporate restructuring, a few $100 million worth of apology from your former jailers, and a decision to start a new life, to leave the past behind, all of it. Until now. I know I've been out of touch. Yeah, we'll talk about it later, okay. I have my reasons. Can we leave it at that for now? I mean, this doesn't really say anything. I know I've been out of touch. Wu stares at you, his goggles reflecting the harbor lights. You could say that, yeah. He scans the waterfront, frowning. Let's just find Raymond. He was supposed to meet us in the plaza on the other side of this pier. Right. The sooner we find him, the sooner you all can have a big happy family reunion over dinner, Carter grins. And the sooner I can find a place to get a drink around here. Damn right. Ahead of you, Hong Kong rises serpent-like from the sea. Government and megacorp coiled together, writhing in their basket of institutionalized corruption. No one can tell where the snake's body ends and its tail begins. That's what Raymond used to say. Duncan turns and starts down the pier. Carter follows. Hong Kong rises serpent-like from the sea. Government and megacorp coiled together, writhing in their basket of institutionalized corruption. Yeah, I mean... this game was made a few years ago. In light of what happened more recently, Hong Kong is no longer like this. What I mean is, the Chinese government has come in and is cleaning things up their way. Anyway, let's not go into real world politics too much. So, like, the old Hong Kong is like this. Like, you have like government and big corporate interests and money and expats and all that. But the Chinese is in charge now, and things are changing in Hong Kong. Oh, wrong button, my bad. Right back in. Inspect. Fresh construction is expanding the harbour out into the water. Corporate interests can afford to... I can't even read that fast enough. I mean, I wish this was true. You know what? I said I wasn't going to go into real world politics. I will. So Hong Kong is a crowded city, and not just in the sense of there being a lot of people. Geographically, it's crowded. There's like mountains and ocean, and not much flat land. And so historically, the city has relied on reclamation. So like you kind of like you bulldoze the mountains and then shove all the stone into the water to create new land, in order to have enough space to build the city and to expand and to accommodate the expanding population. Since the handover back to China, the government has been neglecting that, and so it's been getting more and more cramped in Hong Kong. Mostly the real estate interests have been deliberately obstructing government efforts to expand construction space in order to push up land prices, right? So they're doing land speculation and like real estate speculation, and they're deliberately obstructing the construction of new buildings in order to push up prices on the existing buildings. And so now, like, living in Hong Kong is terrible because like rent is extremely expensive. And now the Chinese have come in and they're gonna put an end to that. They're gonna... Not sure what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do land reclamation again. They're also gonna free up some other land for new construction. So they're gonna embark on new construction again. But they haven't quite started yet. So for now, it's still pretty crowded, pretty expensive. Like you spend your whole paycheck on like a tiny little shoebox to live in. It's actually inhumane. The living conditions in Hong Kong, it's actually really terrible. And all because of big real estate interests jacking up land prices for their own profits. And you know, like the social unrest that has been happening recently, partly like the people are unhappy, partly because of just how bad the living conditions are. But of course, people being people, they vent their unhappiness in ways that are not solving the problem. Or, I mean, they kind of are solving the problem, except not in a productive way. More in a way of like chasing away anyone who wants to come to Hong Kong. And also having a lot of Hong Kongers leave Hong Kong because of how bad it is. And then when the population drops, then the land prices become slightly more manageable. Anyway, alright, back to the game. So that's Hong Kong for you. So like this, again, the game reflects old Hong Kong. Old Hong Kong used to continuously expand into the water in order to build new houses and buildings to accommodate the growing population. So it used to be like this, like they just keep shoving more and more and more into the ocean and just kind of reclaiming more and more land. So again, like this is like old Hong Kong feel, not really a modern Hong Kong. What's going on here? Locked gate. The guard shack at the end of the pier is dark and empty. Duncan gives the gate a push, but it doesn't budge. Ah, well that was open earlier. Duncan frowns. Looks pretty solid. Shouldn't there be someone here to let us out or something? Guess we'll have to find another way to reach the plaza. Maybe if you bang your head against the hut enough it'll open. It was open earlier. It's an ambush, right? It's a trap, right? Shouldn't there be someone here to let us out or something? Yeah, smells a little funny, doesn't it? It does. It does sound like a... does look like an ambush. Kato shrugs, who knows, it's Hong Kong. Not exactly sure how things work around here. Aren't you from around here, Carter? Where are you from? Come on, Rookie, we can cut through the construction site. I hate it when you call me that. Well, I mean, are you a rookie? Security checkpoint. Oh, I need to remember quick save and quick load. The gate is locked, but the nearby control panel appears accessible. Carter pulls it open with a metallic screech that pierces your skull, sending a new wave of pain down to your churning stomach. She examines the control panel for a moment, then throws Wu a backward glance. Looks like there's another way off the docks on the other side of this gate. I think I can bypass the lock, alright. Carter fiddles with some wires and the door lock hisses open. Got it, let's go. Alright, very cool. So what is quick save and quick load? Do we have buttons? Don't have buttons there, but I think it's like F5? F5? F5 is quick save.